And JJ, well, he's the staff ace. Tonight, the Fish start the weekend with baseball's best turnaround story. Troy Tulowitzki and the Rockies are the wild card leader. Since June, no one's been better. The Fish are 3 back of Colorado. So do the math. This 3-game series is huge. South Florida tonight, baseball tonight. Come on in, the Landshark Stadium, the Marlins and the Rockies, the 2 hottest teams in the National League since June 4th. The Rockies are playing close to 700. The Marlins have the 2nd best record in the National League since that time. Dinner is ready. The Marlins and the Rockies, the wild card standings. Colorado has a 1.5 lead over the Giants. The Fish are 3 back. The Cubs have won today, so they've crept within 4.5, but it's right there for the Marlins. The Rockies, the Marlins, 3 games between the 2. Obviously a big weekend of baseball. Hi, everybody. Rich Waltz along with Tommy Hunt. This should be a lot of fun, Tommy, because you got the Rockies who are red hot. What a great turnaround with Jim Tracy as their manager. As we know, the Fish are playing some of their best baseball.
Yeah, the Marlins right now, 10 straight games, 10 or more base hits. The Rockies come in here a hot team. But I think most importantly, the Marlins have a chance to play a team that can affect where they stand. Another team battling for that wild card position. This should be a real good series.
Last time the Marlins had that, it was the Phillies, and of course the Marlins swept them up in Philadelphia. Offensively, the Rockies are hot. The Marlins are hot. And you want to go up and down the order, everybody's swinging it.
Let's start with a 12-game hitting streak, 500 on-base percentage, 9-game hitting streak. Cantu, big base hits. Bake, a 5-game hitting streak. Dan Uggla, a 4-game streak. Cody Ross, huge home runs. Jeremy Hermina's done the job. And how about the pitcher? JJ, he's doing it all. 3 home runs on the year. He has a 3-game hitting streak, and guess what? He's pitching tonight.
And he's got more home runs than losses. Not many starting pitchers in the history of baseball can say that. Obviously, if JJ finishes the season that way, that would be immense. But he gets the start tonight against a guy that has pitched very well on the road for the Rockies, Jason Hamill.
Kind of deceptive numbers when you look at Hamill's overall, but Hamill on the road, an ERA in the 2s. Josh Johnson, well, he's been steady all year, steady and consistent.
The Rockies, an incredible turnaround behind Jim Tracy. What's the reason for the turnaround? I can give you one. Actually, I'll give you 2. Troy Tulowitzki has been one of the driving engines for the Rockies.
The concourse and a base hit to left. And there's the 5th RBI of the night for Tulowitzki. Look, down the line, extra bases for Tulowitzki. Here comes the throw, and for a slide, he's safe. Troy Tulowitzki with a cycle.
South Florida tonight, a three-game series starts. The Marlins chasing the Rockies in the wild card. They are 3 back. This would be a three-game series. This would be a big opportunity for the Fish. Let's start our night with Frank Ford.
Thank you, Rich. Pair of the great young shortstops in the game of baseball on display in this three-game series. Of course, the Marlins, Hanley Ramirez, and for the Rockies, Troy Tulowitzki. You may remember last year around the 4th of July when the Marlins and Rockies played. There was an 18-17 Rockies win. Tulowitzki was frustrated with the at-bat, slammed a maple bat on the ground. It shattered. It cut his hand. He was out 2 weeks. No such luck for the Marlins right now. Tulowitzki comes into this series a red-hot hitter. He has hit in 17 of his last 19 games, during which he's hit .414 with 6 homers and 22 runs batted in. Last Monday against the Cubs, Tulowitzki hit for the cycle. The ironic thing about it, he hit a ball which appeared to be a home run, was ruled foul. On replay, the call was upheld. That enabled him to get a single, and he was able to complete the cycle. He had 5 hits in the game. In fact, it was the 5th cycle in Colorado Rockies history. And the Colorado Rockies have a little bit of a history of that. All of 5 of those, and 3 more by opposing players, all cycles have taken place at Coors Field. Not surprisingly. As I mentioned, Tulowitzki, the 5th Rocky. The others, Dante Bichette, Nathan Perez, Todd Helton, Mike Lansing. The Marlins, on the other hand, they've gone over 2,600 games without anyone hitting for the cycle. But flip it around. How about the other rarity in baseball? One is the cycle, the other is the no-hitter. The Rockies have not thrown a no-hitter. Again, when half your games are at Coors Field, not surprising. The Fish, of course, have thrown 4. Kevin Brown, Al Leiter, A.J. Burnett, and Anibal Sanchez have thrown no-hitters for the Florida Marlins. So quite a contrast there. The cycles for the Rockies, the no-hitters from the Florida Marlins pitcher. A couple of hot-hitting ball clubs going at it tonight. Jason Hamill on the mound for the Rockies, one of the best road ERAs in the National League, 5th best at .281. Josh Johnson's been outstanding all year long. His record is 11-2. He beat the Phillies the last time out. JJ goes for a dozen. Rich Waltz and Tommy Hutton, lineups and first pitch. It's all next here on Sun Sports.
Get all the quality and reliability of a Toyota during Toyota's Best for Less sales event. Toyota, moving forward. By Aflac, we've got you under our wing. Marlins and Rockies begin this 3-game series. The Fish coming off that 4-game series, which they took 3 of 4 from the Astros. The Rockies yesterday pasted the Pirates 10-1. Took 2 of 3 from the Pirates. Also took 3 of 4 from the Cubs before that series. So Jim Tracy's bunch really swinging it right now. Seth Smith is in left field. He leads it off. Carlos Gonzalez is one of the young, exciting players in the game. He's in center field. Troy Tulowitzki is red hot at short. Brad Hopp is in right field. Garrett Atkins is at first. It's a day off for Todd Helton. Ian Stewart at third base. Clint Barmas is on a home run binge right now. Chris Iannetta has a lot of power behind the plate. Jason Hamill is on the mound.
The last time Josh Johnson pitched against this Rockies ball club was a 3-1 win in Denver on May 9th. 8 innings, 7 hits, gave up just 1 run, no walks to this good hitting lineup. So a good matchup, not an easy one for JJ as he goes after win number 12.
This is Seth Smith, and he takes down low. It's 1-0. Seth Smith, a good buddy of Chris Coughlin. Smith went to Ole Miss. In fact, he was there when Cogs made his major league debut. A pop-up right behind. It's Hanley who comes racing and makes the catch. Some swirling winds here tonight at Landshark Stadium. Hanley anchoring the defense at shortstop.
Well, let's take a look at that defense, and it's been a solid defense, something maybe it's been overlooked during this nice run. Cantu and Johnson. Hanley Ramirez has played, I think, since he's been a Marlin, the best shortstop that we've seen. John Baker behind the plate.
Here is Carlos Gonzalez. The Marlins didn't see much of him at all. 48 games and that's it, but he is red hot. He is the second leading hitter in the National League in the second half, and he's a talented 23-year-old Venezuelan who's been involved in 2 big trades. Originally signed by Arizona, went to Oakland in the Dan Herron trade, went to Colorado in the Matt Holliday trade. And ironically, he's second in hitting in the second half, and it's Holliday who is leading the National League in hitting in the second half.
So when you talk about the reason for the surge of the Rockies, you talk about Tulowitzki, and you sometimes forget about Gonzalez and what he's done.
Another guy who is not in the lineup tonight, Dexter Fowler, who is a Rookie of the Year candidate. He banged into center field chasing down a ball against the Pirates and been out of the lineup for a couple of days. Fastball, JJ pumps it by him.
There you go, Mr. Gonzalez. See if you can catch up with that high heat of Josh Johnson's.
Miccosukee weather, a little unsettled this weekend. 86 degrees, overcast. Denver right now, 79, overcast. But it's a dry 79, a mile high in Denver. And that's what Troy Tulowitzki has done. He has been a mile high since early June. 18 homers since June 8th. And Tulowitzki, the great player out of Long Beach State, who had such a terrific rookie year in 2007. As Frank described, had that injury and that frustrating year last year, but is back on it this year. And he has a new manager, Jim Tracy. When the Marlins last saw the Rockies, Clint Hurdle was still their skipper. He was dismissed. Tracy is bench coach, promoted, and the club really has blossomed and really taken to their new skipper. That's a check swing, and he went. Rob Drake says swing. 1-2. What's the difference between Clint Hurdle and Jim Tracy, Tommy?
I think personalities. Clint Hurdle, very outspoken. Jim Tracy, certainly experienced as a major league manager. I think he's given the team a little different personality, or has allowed the team to have a different personality.
It wasn't easy for the Rockies to fire Hurdle. He'd been their manager a long time, and of course took them to the postseason, took them to the World Series in 2007. But Tracy had a nice run with the Dodgers, had to manage some woeful Pittsburgh teams as well. JJ strikes out, one of the hottest hitters in baseball, Troy Tulowitzki. And 1-2-3 go the Rockies.
WhatsApp y es presentado por Taco Bell.
All right, the Marlins lineup looks this way. Chris Coghlan, Nick Johnson, Hanley Ramirez, Jorge Cantu, John Baker, Dan Uggla, Cody Ross, Jeremy Hermida, and Josh Johnson in the 9 spot against Jason Hamill. The 28-year-old right-hander. Coghlan stands in with Johnson and Ramirez scheduled up here in the first. Hamill delivers outside. It's 1-0.
In that game in Denver, the Marlins got 8 hits and 6 runs against Hamill in 4 1/3 innings. Cantu and Hanley Ramirez took him deep.
Good fastball.
But I think the intriguing thing about Hamill, he's 2-3 with a 7.02 ERA at home at Coors Field. On the road, he's 5-3 with a 2.81 ERA.
His last 24 road starts, he's given up just 3 homers. I mean, I know Coors Field is a tough place to pitch, but there's other places that are tough to pitch in the National League. Although playing in the National League West, you've got 2 very friendly ballparks in San Francisco and San Diego. Dodger Stadium can be a tough place at night and a fair place during the day. Arizona is a good place to hit, and obviously so is Colorado.
Yeah, interesting when you talk about and break down the ballparks in each division, actually.
Here's the 2-2 to Coghlan.
There you go.
Chopper up the middle. Tulowitzki is one of the best in the game. And he makes the play. Throws out Coghlan. Good defensive team here with the Rockies.
Yeah, they're in the top 5 in the league defensively. Smith, Gonzalez, and Hop in the outfield. Stewart and Atkins. Atkins getting the start with Helton getting the night off. Tulowitzki and Barmbas have formed a nice double play partnership out there. And Chris Iannetta is behind the plate.
Here's Nick Johnson against Hamill. And Nick takes a strike. Johnson's season numbers. You can see his numbers against the Rockies. Obviously, that was as a National. And as a National, he did face Hamill and went 2 for 2 against him with, of course, a walk. 1-1 coming.
And Hamill's also won his 2 starts in the month of August.
Yeah, he beat the Cubs and he beat the Phillies. He's been in the Rays bullpen and sort of in the rotation the last 3 seasons. Mostly out of the pen, spot starter. Nick takes high.
Let's see what the Marlins hitters can look for in Hamill. Nice fluid delivery. He's 6'6", but 200 pounds. Has a hard slider. And as Rich just mentioned, a former Tampa Bay Ray.
Johnson takes a strike, counts 3-2. He is a great control pitcher, Hamill is. This is start number 21, game number 24. He's walked only 25. And you know what? He just walked Nick Johnson.
Well, that's not unusual. Nick Johnson now has walked 14 times as a Marlin. 14 walks, 11 hits. An on-base percentage now just a tick over 500.
Hamill's last 4 starts, only 1 walk in all of those 4 starts.
You know what's interesting about that? To be successful and pitch well at Coors Field, you have to limit the walks, which he has, but his ERA is over 7 at home.
And the batting average against is enormous. 318 is what hitters are hitting against Hamill, but he's getting away with it because he's not walking anybody. And as you pointed out, he's got a terrific defense behind him, especially the double play combination. Hanley takes outside.
That was that hard slider.
He cleared him. He cleared him.
Yeah, that double play combo for the Rockies has hit some home runs, too.
Yes, we have 2 of the most potent double play combos in the game. You see Hanley's numbers against Hamill. Hanley and Dan Uggla have combined to hit 37 homers. Tulowitzki and Barmbas have hit 40. And Hanley rakes one into left field. Johnson will stop at second. Hanley's hit streak is 10. And the Marlins have a couple base runners against against Jason Hamill. Here comes Cantu.
I'll tell you, any mistake, that pitch in, and Hanley just pulled the trigger on it with a solid swing and a quick swing. If you take a long swing at that, you come around the ball, you don't hit it near that hard or that well. So Hanley continues to stay locked in.
Now Cantu digs in. Two for four is Cantu against Hamill.
You know, even all of a sudden, Rich, Cantu with a 5-game hitting streak.
Especially with the addition of Johnson. Cantu getting a lot more ABs with runners in scoring position now. Homered last night, had 2 hits last night. That's down low. And it's 2-0. Got jammed on a fastball and popped it up. Tulowitzki makes the catch. And there's 2 outs here in the first. Tomorrow, Big Fox has got Saturday baseball, and it's a big game. The National League East leaders, the Phillies, in Atlanta to take on Chipper Jones and the Braves. Fox Saturday baseball this week at 4 on Fox. The Braves are just a half game behind the Marlins in both the East and the wild card. The Marlins 4.5 behind the Phillies. The Phillies just got done sweeping the Cubs, who feel a lot better about themselves today because the Cubs beat the Pirates 17-2.
Now they snapped their 5-game losing streak and they came out big. Derek Lee had 7 RBIs in that game.
Baker takes down low from Hamill. Bake's had some big hits.
Oh, he has. We've talked about the combination of Baker and Paulino. John Baker's hitting .339 with runners in scoring position. So you're right. He has gotten some big hits.
Big takes down low. How'd you like to be the Pirates right now? The Rockies outscored them to 21-8 in that 3-game series, and they get beat 17-2 by the Cubs today.
So they've been outscored 35-3 their last 3 games.
Ball's outside. Baker's worked the count to 3-0.
And by the way, that matchup in Atlanta tonight, Joe Blanton for the Phillies and Jair Jurgens for Atlanta.
Marlins have 10 games left with the Braves. The Rockies have a similar schedule with 10 games against the Giants. That's the team that they're battling with in that wild card spot. Baker takes a letter-high strike.
You know, you're going to see, if you're a Rockies hitter, you're going to see Lincecum and Kane a few times.
Which is okay with the Fish. Marlins done with the Giants. Pretty good changeup.
Yeah, he took enough off of that. His fastball's low to mid-90s, and you see the changeup there was 86.
Johnson walked. Hanley singled. And Baker strikes out. So Jason Hamill bounces back, and a scoreless inning is in the books. in Fort Lauderdale. Rockies Marlins in the second. Wave to the folks. Here's Brad Hopp, and Josh dots the outside corner with a strike.
Rich, that was not too far from the Tommy Bahama store on Las Olas.
Here's the 0-1. It's one of our favorite hangouts. Johnson has the ground ball, flips to Josh, steps on the bag. Our promos tonight, courtesy of Matt Lindstrom. Take it away, Matt.
You want to be here for Super Saturday tomorrow for a post-game concert with Stephen Curtis Chapman following a fireworks spectacular, all presented by American Fasteners. See us battle the Rockies at 6:10 p.m. plus fans get a Marlins pennant flag courtesy of South Florida Ford dealers. Call 1-877-MARLINS or go to marlins.com. Marlins baseball is where you want to be.
That's good work. Garrett Atkins swings and misses. A lot of swings and misses early on against Josh Johnson tonight.
Yeah, a lot of red lighting up in the Fox box with that fastball 96 or above.
Johnson's last start, he beat the Phillies and beat Jamie Moyer. 12-3 was the final. That was the Victorino went bananas game. A game in which Johnson went 6 innings, gave up a run on just 4 hits, struck out 6.
And that game also sent Jamie Moyer to the bullpen.
Banished. Here's the 1-2. Inside corner at the knees. Atkins, I'm not sure if it was frustration or if he just didn't like the call, but he kind of peeled away and barked a little bit at Mark Wegner.
Well, Josh Johnson has some pretty good stuff tonight, and he's locating it even better.
Let's watch. Well, let's not.
Of course, Pedro Martinez in his first start as a Philly won the other night, 5 innings, gave up 7 hits and 3 runs. Threw 99 pitches, though, in his 5 innings.
Ian Stewart takes inside. Stewart has a 6-game hit streak, but has a ways to go. You can see he's hitting just .234 this year. 18 home runs. High pop. Baker is back. The bottom of the order for the Rockies has some low averages but some high home run totals. Stewart has hit 18. Barmes has hit 17. Ionette has hit 13. And yet Barmes' average of .253 is the highest among that trio.
Which I think the high home run totals, that's a little odd for Coors Field. The good hitters park for line drives and batting average, but not necessarily home runs.
Especially post-humidor.
Yes.
The home run totals have come down since they've been storing the baseballs in the humidor. That's where Freddie Gonzalez stores his cigars
when he goes to Denver.
Here's 1-2. High fastball. Josh Johnson struck out 4 in his first 2 innings, and he looks dominant tonight. Fish, Rockies, scoreless. property of the Florida Marlins may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Accounts and descriptions may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Florida Marlins and Vinny Castilla. Dan Uggla facing Jason Hamill. Cody Ross, Jeremy Hermida will follow. Hamill walked Johnson, gave up a hit to Hanley, and his sharp slider is a strike to Uggla.
Yeah, he made some good pitches after he was dealt with a first and second one-out situation.
Now, the Marlins saw Dan Uggla when he was really struggling. In fact, the Marlins were struggling in May, even though they won 2 of 3 in Colorado. Uggla, a little different hitter right now. Had 7 hits in the series against the Astros. And he drives that ball to right center field. Gonzalez is over with Hop, and it's Gonzalez who almost lands on Hop but makes the catch.
You know, overall, it's been a struggle for Dan Uggla against the Rockies. 70 games against Colorado, and Dan Uggla's hitting below 200. Just 188 with a couple of home runs. So this has been a tough matchup for him.
Here's Cody. He left last night's ball game with some lower back stiffness. Freddie Gonzalez this morning got a text on his phone from Cody saying, good to go.
Always good to have the manager's number so you can text him.
So if there's something on the turnpike or something like that, you got to let him know. Ball in the hole, and it gets to left field. A base hit.
Cody Ross, good to go. The turnpike today, not good to go.
I got a frantic phone call at 4 o'clock from my partner, Tommy Hutt, saying, traffic is at a standstill.
Well, this one just finds a hole just off the glove of Stewart, and Tulowitzki couldn't get to it. But I knew you were here to pick me up.
I did. Here's Herm now. Josh Johnson on deck, and Cody gets back. Jeremy had a couple of hits against the Rockies. He's 2 for 4 against Hamill in his career. Fouls it back. Of course, the Marlins have seen a little bit of Hamill with the Rays.
Yeah, he made a couple of relief outings against the Fish. Just one of those pitchers, Rich, with that delivery, kind of a fluid motion, and because he's 6'6", tall and thin, kind of gets in on hitters. I mean, he has good stuff.
Best pitch he's made all night was the 2-0 fastball to Cantu.
And it kind of sneaks in on hitters. The first time around, some may be surprised a little bit.
0-2 is inside. The Rockies started the season without one of their best arms in the rotation. Jeff Francis, the lefty, out for the entire season. They've got Aaron Cook in the rotation. Ubaldo Jimenez has been outstanding. Ball in the dirt. Nice job by Iannetta.
Nicely done. We saw Bud Rodriguez do that a few times this past series against Houston. And Iannetta right here. This is a slider. And that's always, I think, a little tougher one to block because of the spin. And Iannetta does everything he can do to keep that ball in front of him.
Former Tar Heel Chris Iannetta. Jason Marquis has been the guy that has really surprised and been a big shot in the arm to the Rockies. He's now 13-8. In fact, 13 wins for Marquis ties him for the National League lead with Johan Santana and Adam Wainwright. Two coming. Count stays at 2-2.
It's been a nice pickup for the Rockies. Marquis was acquired for Luis Vizcaíno, right-handed pitcher. Marquis the last couple of years. Remember the Cubs? We've seen him with the Cubs, St. Louis, a little bit with Atlanta.
Hermida cranks it into right field. That's a base hit. First and second, one out. And here comes the power hitting lefty.
Got a pitch that he could pull middle in with the fastball, and Jeremy Hermida with a nice swing to get it in that hole right in here. Hit it so hard that Cody could only get to second. Sometimes on a base hit to right, you can go first to third, but that ball was hit hard.
All right, what's the difference in the scouting report for the Rockies this time around as opposed to last time Josh Johnson came to the plate?
Yeah, don't leave a fastball out over the plate to this guy. Let's see if he's bunting, though.
Fastball in, 1-0.
Freddie has the luxury. I don't know if he'll do it here at this point in time of the game because he has a man on deck with a 12-game hitting streak. To, in a sacrifice situation, maybe take the bunt off, knowing that Josh will get the fastball, which I'm sure he'll get this next pitch. Didn't really show bunt. And that's probably why Hamill kind of spun with a little fake move.
Let's see what the Rockies infield does. Of course, he can always square, pull it back, and try to punch it through if the infield's on the move. He wasn't bunting, got the fastball, and it's 2-0.
And it's interesting now, he may have missed a sign. He may have been bunting.
So supposed to have been.
And that's why all of a sudden he's been called up to check in with Bo Porter at third base.
See, until he has established himself as a guy that can hit home runs, there was never really that option. It was always just go up there and bunt. Now that he's hit 3 homers, and 3 big homers, I mean long homers.
Now he's got to learn the signs.
Yeah. Just in case he gets the hit sign in a case like this. Hamill misses low, and it's 3-0. I would suspect now he gets the take sign.
Yeah, now he's going to get another sign altogether.
Coghlan waits. Josh takes that as ball 4. And the bags are loaded for Coghlan.
Boy, there's nothing that'll drive a manager or a pitching coach. Bob Apodaca goes out to talk to Hamill. Crazier than walking a pitcher who's trying to give you an out in a sacrifice situation.
Well, the wacky thing, as we pointed out, Hamill doesn't walk many at all. He's walked 2 now in 2 innings, and he had just 1 walk total in his last 4 starts.
Couple of coaching changes too. I mean, we've talked about Jim Tracy. He brought in Tom Runnels, a minor league manager with the Rockies, as his bench coach. Don Baylor's still there. Glenn Allen Hill still there. Apodaca, Rich Dower.
Coghlan, a 12-game streak, bounced to short his first time up. Checks his swing, did not go.
Boy, that was interesting and shows the patience of Chris Coghlan. I'm thinking fastball all the way there because he just walked the pitcher and he threw him a first pitch changeup.
2 rookies there, Fowler and Coghlan, and 2 guys that are in the Rookie of the Year conversation. Coghlan hits a little squibber out there, and the turn is not in time. The Fish get a run. Cody Ross scores.
I think because Stewart was moving away from the plate, he went to second. This really isn't a double play ball. He has a little trouble getting it out of his glove. And with the speed of Coughlin, they're not able to turn the double play. And because of that, the Marlins get a run. He didn't have a play to the plate because of the direction his body was going. You know, two guys that when we talk about the rookies this year that we forget, because I'm always thinking hitting, Tommy Hanson and Jay Happ have to be in that rookie group as well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Without question. So there's a pretty good crop, and it'll be pretty good competition.
I think both Coughlin and Fowler's candidacies will be helped by their teams being in pennant races or wild card races.
As will Happ
and Hanson.
And Hanson, too.
Coughlin at first. That right side is open for Nick Johnson with a runner at third. And Hamill is uncharacteristically wild.
And another guy we failed to throw in there, Casey McGee with Milwaukee. But that guy is in that mix too, Chris Coughlin.
All right, it's 2-0. One thing we've seen from Nick Johnson, Tommy, in a situation like this, yeah, he's patient and he walks a lot, but when he's in a 2-0 count, he'll turn on a fastball. Let's see if he gets one to hit. There's a changeup.
See, and there's the scouting report. They know that. So what do? They throw him a changeup. But you're right. Nick has shown us his ability to be a really good situational hitter. And not always patient. He's going to be patient when that's needed.
I think, too, with Johnson, he's a guy that isn't just a two-hole hitter. You could hit him third. You could hit him cleanup as well because he can drive in runs.
It's another changeup.
That's 2-2. Hamill has had trouble throwing his fastball for strikes.
Well, he's also got the pitch count up, 43 pitches for Jason Hamill, and just 22 for Josh Johnson in his 2 innings.
Hamill turns, looks at Coughlin at first. They got the changeup again, so he's had 3 consecutive changeups after the 2 fastballs missed. And the count still 2-2.
Where I've seen pitchers try to go with him, and this would be tough even after the 3 changeups, they try to go upstairs and try to get a high fastball by him. Hamill has enough on his fastball, he could try that.
He did. You almost have to think changeup here because he's missed on all 3 fastballs in this at bat.
He's had better command.
Absolutely.
But if you're a hitter, you can't sit on the changeup here.
Hanley's on deck. This is going to start Coughlin from first. And so Atkins backs up a little bit. Let's see what he gets. 3-2. Changeup. Johnson jumped on it. Right field. Hop has room and he makes the catch. So he guessed right, just didn't get all of it. Jason Hamill gives up a run. The Fish are up 1-0. Josh Johnson and the Fish up 1-0. It's Barmas, Iannetta, and Hamill. And Barmas runs up to bunt and takes outside. Clint Barmas has been hot. He's been on a home run binge. In fact, he went through a streak of about 3 weeks where the only hits he was getting were homers. Johnson misses low. Barmas 6 for his last 9, 2 3-hit games against the Pirates.
It's a guy certainly who's made an adjustment. Chewy hasn't, but Clint Barmas has.
Is it just me, or does it look like Chewy is shedding?
Well, summertime is usually the time when Chewy sheds a little bit.
Three and 2. At the knees, Barmas is rung up 97 miles an hour. Mark Wagner's been pretty consistent with that call from the outset.
He knows he has a guy out there who's consistent with throwing it. Check out the 5 strikeouts from JJ. Heat upstairs. Another fastball. A fastball in. Fastball upstairs and freezes Barmas with a fastball in. All the strikeouts have been with the fastball.
Iannetta, you see his 13 homers and 46 driven in. He's in the 8th spot. Hamill's up next. JJ's been just featuring that fastball tonight.
He hasn't thrown many sliders. I think we'll see a change the second time around. That was something I remember Mark Wiley talking to us about that was giving Ricky Nolasco trouble when he was really struggling and then sent down. He tried to get everything going in the first inning or so, instead of just using what you have working and what's being successful. He was trying to get everything in there and jam it in the first 2 innings.
He's come back and thrown 2 nice fastballs.
And that one in a fastball situation. You know that Iannetta on a 3-1 pitch knew he was going to get the fastball. And you know what? More than likely he's going to get another one here.
Three-two coming. Struck him out. Josh Johnson has 6 punch-outs already.
Not only 97, but with some movement. Boy, he's throwing with ease. He has been so consistent. In 21 of his 23 starts, he's given up 3 earned runs or less.
At the knees. 1-1.
He's 5-1 at home, and he's 6-1 on the road. 5-1 at home, though, with a much better ERA. Want to just write down number 7 now with Hamill up there?
It has been free and easy out of his hand, and it's been 97 most of the night. That was 99. JJ punches out Jason Hamill. He strikes out the side. He has struck out 7 through 3. Promos tonight, Matt Lindstrom.
Fans, the 3rd annual Fish and Chips Casino Party is coming on Thursday, August 27th at the Fairmount Turnberry Isle Resort and Club in Aventura. Join us players, coaches, and others at 6 p.m. for an exciting evening of fun. Make your reservation today. Call 1-877-MARLINS or visit marlins.com.
Well done. Hanley leads it off. Cantu and Baker also scheduled. Bottom of the 3rd. If you've just joined us, Marlins and Rockies. Rockies wild card leaders up 3 over the Marlins in the wild card standings. The Giants trailing the Rockies by a game and a half. The Giants are in New York to take on the Mets tonight. And the Mets have a 1-0 lead in the 3rd. Hanley grooves that one down the line and fair. My goodness. A double for Hanley. That ball looked like it was going to hook foul, but Hanley hit it so hard it straightened out.
Yeah, he hit it so hard it didn't have a chance to go foul. 35 doubles, and there's got to be a dent in the wall in left field. He just smokes this ball. You're right, I thought it was going to hook foul, but it was hit so hard. A dent in that wall in left field.
There it is. All right, let's see if the Marlins can construct a run here. If Cantu can move them up and Baker can get them in. Hamill misses down low. Cantu had a 2-0 pitch to swing at with a couple of runners aboard. It was a boring fastball that came in on his hands and he popped it up.
We've seen Jorge Cantu many times get in that situation as he is now and try to hit a ball the other way.
And many times we've seen him do it.
Yeah. Tough to do on that pitch.
Yeah,
though.
and that was the pitch that he popped up.
It's always a nice little game within a game to watch. Pitcher knows what the hitter's trying to do, so he's trying to counter that with good hard stuff inside.
See if Cantu can.
Back in there again.
Yep.
Looks like he has a little better command of his fastball this inning.
2-2. There is Hanley. These guys former teammates in Tampa Bay, Cantu and Hamill. Breaking ball, just got a piece.
I wonder what Cantu thought of his former teammates' 3-homer game last night. Johnny Gomes with Cincinnati.
Johnny Gomes, how about that? His first 3 at-bats, too.
5 RBIs, 3-homer game against Washington.
Atlanta's off to a 1-0 lead over Philadelphia in the 2nd. Here, 1-0 Fish. And Hanley has doubled to open up the 3rd. Cantu, line drive, that's a base hit into center field. Gonzalez over to pick it up. Hanley will stop. And it's runners at the corners. A nice piece of hitting by Jorge Cantu. We check in with Frank Fort.
All right, guys, thanks very much. Yet another small milestone reached today at the Marlins' new ballpark site in Miami. The first official concrete pour. There are going to be an estimated 250 concrete pours. The crew that pours the concrete consists of about 25 guys now. What they did today was the first of 12 pours for the super columns, the main support columns for the stadium. It goes into a hole 40 by 40 feet wide and 8 feet deep. There will be 12 of these super columns that will support the stadium. So that was done this morning. Yet another little milestone on our way to the new ballpark in 2012.
All right, thanks, Frank. Here's John Baker now. Runners at the corners, and Baker goes after a high fastball. It's 0-1.
How beautiful was that swing of Jorge Cantu? With 2 strikes, he still had on his mind to try to hit the ball the other way. And not only did he hit it the other way, he hit a line drive. Hanley had to pause a moment, make sure that ball got by Barmas, the second baseman.
0-1. Bake hits a fly ball down the line that's going to twist foul into the Rockies bullpen.
Bake was telling me the other night, I know he mentioned it to Frank after the game. He feels more comfortable hitting a fly ball in this situation going the other way. Some guys like to get a pitch they can drive. He feels if he does that, he rolls over on it with the top hand.
Chased a high fastball to strike out in the first. Fastball, fights it into left field. On comes Smith, makes the catch. There goes Hanley. Smith's throw is not in time.
And guess what? Fly ball, opposite field. So good approach, bringing in the run, but set up by Jorge Cantu's base hit that got Hanley over to third after a smoking double. Good job by John Baker. He picks up RBI number 38. There's that inside-out swing.
And the Marlins do indeed construct that run. The Hanley double, Cantu moved him over with that line drive hit. Here now is Uggla, who flied to deep right center his first time up. It's a little odd looking over at first base and not seeing Todd Helton as he gets the night off.
He doesn't miss many. I was looking at some of his numbers. He has had a terrific year. Garrett Atkins playing first base tonight. But Helton has hit over 300 each month. So he's been consistent.
Breaking ball misses outside. Yeah, Helton has been steady and certainly has a long history with the Rockies.
5th in the league in batting average.
Throw to first and Cantu is back. Marlins a 2-0 lead, taking 3 of 4 from Houston. The Astros are in Milwaukee. They pulled into the Pfister about 3 in the morning.
A nice hotel to sleep in, though, as long as you're not worried about the ghosts.
Tom Baylor, the hitting coach of the Rockies, is our Geico quote, and he's talking about Todd Helton. He fouls off more balls than anyone on the team. The only guys I played with that could do that were Rod Carew and Wade Boggs. So certainly a pinch hitting weapon for Jim Tracy tonight. Uggla goes down. So there are 2 outs. Here comes Cody Ross. You know the odd thing about the Houston series in Milwaukee? They play in the same division. This is the first trip to Milwaukee for Houston all year. And they're only going there because of some scheduling quirk twice.
Well, there's some crazy scheduling quirks. Every team has one. I think the Marlins, with the fact that they play the Astros 7 times in 10 games, certainly a quirk in the schedule. The fact that the Cubs, who are battling the Cardinals, only have 3 more games left with the Cardinals.
Such a great rivalry.
Yeah.
You'd think that they'd want to be
store some of those up for later.
Save them for September.
And right now, the Cardinals feel pretty good about that. They have a 4-game lead. Chicago's win today got them a half game closer.
That was maybe the best series of the year for the Rockies. And Jim Tracy said really a confidence builder when the Rockies went into St. Louis and swept a 4-game series against a good Cardinal team.
Good ball club, good pitching.
2-2.
Of course, the Marlins played the Cardinals in June.
Not till September.
And then don't go to St. Louis until September 14th.
Marlins have made Hamill work. You saw the pitch count at 66. Cody hits a little flare. Atkins doesn't look all that steady going after it, and it's in the seats.
The other thing about playing teams in September, of course, you have the same advantage. But sometimes the games are a little different, and I've heard the argument, teams bring up players. So they have added men to the 25-man roster, and it's actually a pretty good argument that you have guys coming up helping a team that have only been there for 30 days and aren't going to be there for postseason. And they might have an impact.
Yeah. And we'll have that argument starting September 1st. Down goes Cody. Marlins get a run, lead it 2-0. First time through, pretty impressive. He struck out 7 of the 9 he faced. So it's the top of the order: Seth Smith, Carlos Gonzalez, Troy Tulowitzki.
See if he stays with the fastball, and actually you probably would look for him to do that until the Rockies are able to make an adjustment.
JJ misses low. Seth Smith, his college football team in many people's preseason top 10, Ole Miss. He was a backup quarterback to some guy named Eli. And of course,
just signed a nice contract, I think, that Eli guy did.
Played some baseball at Ole Miss, did Seth Smith. Jams him. Hanley makes the catch, and here comes the duck. Named the Rockies pitcher with the longest tenure in Colorado.
Now, I have a question for the duck. Is that current Rockies pitcher or just a pitcher
in Rockies history?
In Rockies history. In Rockies history, the duck tells us. How about Pedro Estacio?
Yeah, that's a good. I was headed in that direction. That's always a good call.
Yeah, there haven't been a lot of pitchers that have hung around Coors Field.
How about Aaron Cook?
Aaron Cook would be a good guess. It could be a guy in the bullpen, then I might be in trouble on that.
Brian Fuentes. Gonzalez swings.
BK Kim.
Yeah. 1-2 the count.
Hey, Carlos Gonzalez was having some kind of AAA season before his call-up, hitting .340, 10 home runs, 59 RBIs.
Fastball misses outside.
Some will say, though, the Rockies' AAA affiliate is in Colorado Springs, which is every bit as much as Mile High. So the ball travels pretty well there.
And I don't think they have a minor league humidor there. 2-2. Oh, slider. You're right, Tommy. He has made that adjustment from fastball to slider. Here comes Tulowitzki, who hit for the cycle on Monday. As Frank pointed out, the Rockies have 5 cycles. Dante Bichette, Nafi Perez, Pelton, Mike Lansing, and now Tulowitzki. But of course, no hitters. Rockies don't have a no hitter. The Marlins have 4. And so I hopped on the iChat. Roller to short. Hanley on to first in time. How about Josh Johnson? How about 4, 1, 2, 3 innings? Marooney. Hey, South Florida, when you need a car, truck, or van, who are you going to call? 1-877-Marooney. By Checkers, Little Place, Big Taste. By Corona, official sponsor of the timeout. Jeremy Hermida climbs in a 2-0 Marlin lead in the bottom of the 4th inning. Marlins getting a run in the 2nd and a run in the 3rd off of Jason Hamill. And he pumps in a strike to Hermida. Jeremy had a base hit. That was back in the 2nd. Run came across on a Chris Coughlin fielder's choice. John Baker, a sacrifice fly to drive in the other. Quickly, it's 0-2.
I can see there's some good stuff from Jason Hamill. I mean, his ERA 4.66, 7-6, but good changeup, live fastball, and a good slider. So he has 3 good pitches.
Hermida, JJ, and Coughlin. One and 2. Five hits against Hamill. His changeup misses outside.
Well, the Marlins halfway to 10 hits, and we mentioned 10 straight games. They've garnered 10 or more hits.
Armida pulls that one foul. Rockies on an East Coast swing, which will take them up to Washington. Day off on Monday for the Rockies. And the Nationals Park on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Hamill gets that Thursday start. It's outside. We were talking about the cycles for the Rockies in their history and the no-hitters for the Marlins in their history, and neither franchise has one of the other. I sent a quick note to our good friend Aaron Charlton at Stats, because it's a question we get a lot of times on Tuesday night on email nights. Which is tougher, and which has there been more of in baseball history? Cycles or no-hitters? I'll let you guess.
I would guess there have been more no-hitters.
There have been more cycles. 289 cycles, 256 no-hitters. And there's been one postseason no-hitter. Don Larson's perfect game.
1956 perfect game.
There's never been a cycle in postseason play.
That Aaron all the way out on the West Coast, does he ever sleep?
No. No.
He's great.
Whenever we need something, we just buzz him, and he shoots it right back. Johnson takes that fastball high. And by the way, the other night on our email night, we were talking about pitchers and Mike Hampton and how he kind of got a Gold Glove in the Greg Maddux era. And we wondered out loud, in the Jim Cott era, who was the guy that was the runner-up. And Jim sent us an email back. He said Jim Palmer was probably a guy that would have won some Gold Gloves in that time.
And not to mention a Cy Young pitcher, too, in Jim Palmer. Josh Johnson, his last at-bat, was trying to drop down a sacrifice bunt. Did not see a strike while he was trying to bunt. He's not seen a strike here. And you mentioned the wildness. One pitch away from 4 walks is Jason Hamill, and he came into this game just 25 walks in 114 innings.
Yeah, and 1 in his last 4 starts. I think he watched too much video of Josh hitting home runs to center in this ballpark or going out to left center in Washington. Three and 1 now.
See what sign he gets on this 3-1 pitch.
Armida at first. Jeremy has stolen 5 bases this year. As Josh sets down a gorgeous bunt, Hamill flips it over to first in time. Armida's in scoring position. Coughlin's coming up, and here comes the duck. Tommy went Pedro Estacio on us.
Yeah, I'm going to stay with that.
I'll throw Aaron Cook in there. And I think you're right.
Oh, Steve Reed, see, out of the bullpen.
Only 6 years. 6.5
almost
years.
7, yeah. Steve Reed. By the way, that was the 6th sacrifice bunt for JJ this year, tying the career high. So he's done a nice job in that area as well.
The Marlins have done a nice job tonight of getting runners over and getting them in. Both runs have scored on outs. Coughlin drove one in on a fielder's choice. Baker drove one in on a sacrifice fly. Coughlin takes a strike. Adam Eaton just joined this club, and he's in the bullpen with Hamill's pitch count at 63. Here's the 1-1. Ground ball right side. And Varmus flips over to first. Actually, that was 83. Now it's 84. That's why Eaton is up. Here's Nick Johnson.
one of those games. You look at the Marlins having had base runners every inning. They've already stranded 5. Yeah, they do have a 2-0 lead, but it's one of those games. A big hit here or there could have opened things up a lot.
High strike on Nick. First breaking ball that he's seen tonight. Johnson saw fastballs that weren't strikes and changeups that were in his last at bat, and he flied out on a changeup after working a full count. 22.
Good fastball there.
Hermida 90 feet away with 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th. Breaking ball, fair ball. Down the line it goes. Hermida scores. Johnson trucking around first. And an RBI double. Marlins stretch the lead to 3-0.
Now you talk about a nice bit of hitting, and you see Jim Presley with that big smile. He got the breaking ball, opens the hips, clears his hips through that swing, doubles, and it is our checkers double of the game. There's a swing. You see Iannetta, the catcher, trying to reach for it. Gets it past Atkins, the first baseman, and gets the Marlins their 3rd run. So good hitting by Nick Johnson.
Rockies are going to walk Hanley Ramirez intentionally to get to Jorge Cantu.
Well, Hanley, one of the hottest hitters in baseball. 2 for 2 tonight.
This obviously opposite of the strategy that Cecil Cooper had in his odd move against the Marlins early in that 4-game series, in which
Jim Tracy may have been watching that.
Yes. In which the Astros intentionally walked Nick Johnson to get to Hanley Ramirez, and Hanley hurt him with an RBI single.
Well, there's a hot hitter on the West Coast, too. You kind of like to see around the league who's on fire. We talked about Tulowitzki, certainly Hanley Ramirez, Chris Coghlan with his hitting streak. How about Adrian Gonzalez of the Padres? He had that 6-for-6 night the other night. He is 13 for his last 23. 5 games. 13 hits in his last 5 games.
Cantu's popped out and has a line drive single. .65 runs driven in. A dozen homers, and he hit his 12th yesterday. Second half power-wise has been a tough one for Cantu. That was just his second half homer. But he does have 29 doubles. Cantu hooks it and hits it hard. Stewart makes the catch, and the inning is over. Marlins get another on Nick Johnson's 2-out double.
SAP y es presentado por KFC.
Cookie and Raul join us tonight.
Rich, Tommy.
Richard, tell me, how are you?
What's going on?
Good. How about JJ tonight?
Oh, my God.
He's like a dealer at the fish and chips. He's dealing.
No question.
Hey, you know what? Another thing I wanted to ask you guys. On a night like this, Atlanta against the Phillies, who do you guys go for? Who are you cheering for?
You know, I asked Freddie that a week ago, and he said,
Atlanta.
You just
That's my pick.
Win games and worry about who's going to beat each other. Once you get to deep September, then you can start thinking about that. But I got mixed emotions.
As long as we win, if they split, lose, win, and we beat Colorado, we're in great shape.
Yeah, that's one of the things about this Colorado team, guys, is they have 10 games left with the Giants. So you certainly want those two teams to beat each other up.
That is right.
Brad Hopp at the plate with a 2-1 count from Josh Johnson.
You know, Rich, and tell me what is surprising that you don't have a Tom Helton playing against Johnson.
I talked to Jim Tracy about it, and he said he's due for a day off, and this was the night they chose to give him the night off.
I think he's happy.
That's right.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, have a good show.
You too, guys.
They may have looked at the pitching matchups before that decision.
Yeah, Skip, I'll take Friday off. That just missed. And that is the first base runner of the night for the Colorado Rockies.
There was a game a few starts ago. Boy, that was close. That JJ had. Remember, he was cruising. Then all of a sudden, I think it was when he had the 20. He had retired the 20 straight.
Washington.
And then all of a sudden, there were men on base. First time that he had to work out a stretch. So this is the first time now that he's in the stretch.
Fly ball right field, Hermida.
No problem there.
Atkins
all
retired.
that means is that the perfect game is gone.
And you're right about the Washington scenario. Not only were there runners on base, but JJ ended up losing the lead, and the Marlins ended up losing that game.
Had a 4-0 lead.
Here's Stewart now. First round pick back in 2003. Of all the teams in baseball, the Rockies are the most homegrown team that you'll see. Up and down the lineup are guys that were drafted and developed by the Rockies.
And homegrown drafted college players. They seem to go that route. I imagine with the salary of Todd Helton, their payroll is up there pretty good too.
Yeah, Helton is signed through 2011 at $16 million a year. That's out. There's Todd Helton. Rockies payroll at $75 million. Two and two. Jim Tracy, 5 years with the Dodgers, a couple seasons as the Pirates manager.
His 5 years with the Dodgers, 4 of the 5 years they were over 500. He had a winning record with LA.
He's got 3 baseball playing sons. One that has retired from baseball is now a scout. Josh Johnson punches out Ian Stewart.
And you realize that ties his career high. That was his 9th strikeout.
This Sunday night at Petco Park in San Diego, the USA's best high school baseball players take the national stage in the 7th annual Aflac All-American High School Baseball Classic. Craig Biggio will be on the live high-definition broadcast. 8 Eastern on Fox Sports Florida. Barmes late on a fastball.
So here's Josh Johnson, who I would have guessed probably had a strikeout game more than 9. But then when you think about it, he has that good two-seamer, gets ground balls. So he has tied his career high with 9. And we're still in the 5th inning.
Mark Wiley very happy last night with Sean West in his 6 innings. Boy, that didn't miss by much.
Tell you what, Mark Wetner's strike zone all of a sudden got smaller, and I don't know why. Because he's got a guy out there firing BBs and right around the plate.
One to Barmes. And it's 2-1. 11-2 this year. 7-1 last year. And remember, just 14 starts last year. He came back from Tommy John surgery in just 11 months.
So 18-3 in his last 37 starts.
I saw a note in Jason Stark's column on his blog a couple days ago, and one of the things he pointed out is that Josh Johnson has more home runs than losses. And I think there's only been 2 pitchers in Major League history that have ever gone a season and had more home runs than losses. Hanley, a diving catch. The final out of the 5th. Josh Johnson shutting down the Rockies. And a brilliant play by the Marlins shortstop, Hanley Ramirez. 3-0 Fish. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. Josh Johnson has been absolutely brilliant. The Rockies without a hit, 9 strikeouts for Johnson. The lone blemish in his column was that leadoff walk to Brad Hopp in the 5th inning.
Well, he enjoyed that catch of Hanley Ramirez's to end the inning. So Jim Tracy brings in a couple of players. Omar Quintanilla, double switch. He goes to play second with bat 9th. And the new pitcher, this guy the Marlins have seen over the years, a 10-year veteran, Adam Eaton. They've seen him with San Diego, with the Phillies. He's had some shoulder problems over the years, trying to get back some consistency at the major league level.
Adam Eaton was a big piece that went from the Padres to the Rangers in the Adrian Gonzalez trade. Gonzalez went from the Rangers to the Padres. Baker slices that first pitch towards the line. Smith, the former college quarterback, is there to make the catch. There's one out. We check in with Frank Ford.
All right, guys, on my scorecard for that play, of course, I'm going to put a 7. And we want you to be with us on Marlins Live and during the game Sunday against Colorado, because we're going to teach you all about how to keep score for a game. This is especially geared on a Kids Sunday toward the youngsters out there. We'll give you a primer on Marlins Live at 4:30, and then during the game, Jeff Conine will be in the stands with our kid reporter from the Billy's Bunch show, Brendan, and he'll be teaching Brendan how to score a game. And if you don't know how, you want to be with us on Sunday. We'll have some stories from Rich, Tommy, Dave Van Horn, the Marlins radio broadcaster, and Glenn Geffner, his partner, about the little nuances of how they keep their scorebook. Everybody does it just a little bit differently, guys.
You just have to make sure you can read it once you do it.
All right, I have a question for you, Rich.
All right.
On the play that ended the inning, Hanley spearing that line drive, how do you score that? How do you put that in your scorebook?
L6 exclamation point to mark a great play.
I put L6 and then little dots all around it, like a circle of dots to just alert me that that was a good play.
For broadcasters, you keep score so that you can go back and recap the game. When a guy steps in like Ugla, you can say he's 0 for 2 with a strikeout.
I think as broadcasters, you have to do it a little differently. There's that L6, and it was spectacular. Because you're right, you and I have to go back and quickly find out what happened earlier in the game, and it's easier to do if they're little extra things that we do. I think if you're just scoring at a game sitting in the stands, you probably don't have to do that.
Jerry Coleman would have hung a star on that one.
Hung a star on it. He used to have a star on a kind of like a fishing pole. He'd throw it out the radio booth in San Diego on a great play. Hang a star on that one.
Ugla took a rip at a fastball, and Adam Eaton strikes out Dan Ugla. So up comes Cody Ross, third hitter to face Eaton. Jason Hamill lasted just 4 innings.
One of the problems that Hamill got into was just a little wildness. And he threw 95 pitches in his 4 innings.
10th Major League season for Eaton. This got to feel a little weird for him. This is only his 6th relief appearance, and he's made 201 career starts. Ross doesn't like that call.
Actually, a career record a little over 500 for Adam Eaton.
Padres, Rangers, Phillies, Orioles. He's called that pitch twice, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, he's a veteran pitcher, good 4-pitch guy. Fastball, 12-6 curveball, slider, change.
Struck him out. 1-2-3. Adam Eaton goes through the fish in the 5th. On to the 6th. JJ back on stage. Johnson has been tonight. And into the 6th inning he goes with a 3-0 lead. Pitch count manageable at 65. And in the 6th inning he gets Chris Iannetta, Quintanilla, who came in the double switch, and Seth Smith. First time through the order, Josh featured mainly fastballs.
Yeah, we've seen the next time around, we've seen a few more sliders, but still the electric fastball. Like that.
I don't know about you, but this is as hard as I've seen Josh Johnson throw. Period. 97, he's touched 99 on the gun tonight.
He's lit up that red light. Good slider. There've been some patient takes by a few of the Rockies hitters too.
This is a grinded out team.
That's a tough pitch to take when you've seen so many fastballs.
Jim Tracy said before the game, that's one of the things his ball club does really well. Is grind it out, get pitch counts up. Iannetta was struck out in the 3rd. 2-2. Missed up. I don't think it was him because of the 2 calls that went against Cody and his at bat against Eaton.
Again, though, patience by Iannetta to not chase that fastball. That's where John Baker wanted that pitch.
Three-two. Mark Wiley, Marlins pitching coach. 3-2 coming. It's down low. Iannetta is aboard. And that'll bring up Quintanilla and Matt Lindstrom.
You want to be here for Family Sunday when your Marlins close out the series against the Rockies at 5:05 p.m. It's Billy's birthday bash, and the first 5,000 kids get a Billy Back to School binder courtesy of AT&T. Plus, kids can run the bases in Diamond Dash after the game. Call 1-877-MARLINS or visit marlins.com. Marlins Baseball, it's where you want to be.
Omar Quintanilla is up. JJ throws him a strike.
Quintanilla's first look, remember he came into the double switch. Utility infielder. Out of the University of Texas.
He's the Rockies version of Alfredo Amezaga.
He was part of that team that had Houston Street, who is now the closer for the Rockies.
And having a very good year.
So now these two are teammates in the big leagues too.
Oh-2 coming.
This is where JJ has to keep that same rhythm, not try to overthrow.
Iannetta's at first. 1-2 to Quintanilla. Breaking ball, squirted out to Hanley, got one, Douglas turn, high, and it pulls Johnson off the bag. Boy, great opportunity to get 2 outs. Marlins get 1. Here comes Seth Smith.
And I believe there's a little squibber by Quintanilla, who runs okay, but I believe a good throw gets him a little bit high. Yeah, good throw would have gotten him, but Nick Johnson had to come off the bag to catch the ball. Dan Uggla just couldn't quite get turned all the way around and get his body directed to first base. The throw sailed on him, and Nick had to come off the bag.
Top of the order. Couple pop outs, and they've both been to Hanley out at short.
The one thing that starts to get to be a little concern is the pitch count for Josh Johnson as to how far he can take this game. Because right now he's at 77. Obviously the 9 strikeouts build that pitch count up.
That's why that double play ball would have been huge.
Not too many Qs tonight, just because they haven't hit him. A lot of Ks, but not too many Qs.
Quick outs, 3 pitches or less. Buries that slider, 1-2. Jenks, Oklahoma, 4th round pick back in 2002, part of that rookie class for the Marlins in 2006, when they had 4 rookie starters win 10 games or more. In 2007, of course, an injury-filled season. He finally had the Tommy John surgery and was back last year in July.
And you talked about how quickly he came back with the diligence he put into his workouts.
Chopper, Johnson gets it out there. Hanley's return. Smith runs well. And so the Marlins have to settle for another out, and up comes Gonzalez.
Yeah, I think at that point you could tell that Nick Johnson was being very patient. He didn't want to unload a quick throw, maybe throw it away. We wanted to make sure he got the out at second base. And partly because Smith does run well. There's Nick. He takes his time. But that's okay. He makes a good throw. Not too much of a chance to get Smith, who runs well.
Now Carlos Gonzalez, who was struck out twice. The Rockies have started to grind out at bats here, Tommy. The last strikeout that Johnson had was back in the middle of the 5th inning.
Well, he had 7 through the first 3 and just 2 since then.
Hasn't worked from the stretch much tonight, but has almost exclusively in this inning. Popped him up. Baker turns around. Marlins 3, Rockies nothing. Still some zeros hanging up there for Josh Johnson.
Starting pitchers, of course, is from Palm Beach Gardens High School, and that is the Palm Beach Gardens Gatorette dance team. They performed before today's game. Now, what's the connection? Well, you saw the young lady in the white tank top, the tall blonde lady. That is Chris Volsad's sister, Carrie Volstad Wallace. She is not only the director of the dance team, but also a math teacher at Palm Beach Gardens High School. She was thrilled to have her girls here perform. She said, unfortunately, it was on a night when Chris wasn't pitching, but that's okay. They were great. They were glad to be here. Go ahead, Rich.
Jeremy Hermida bangs one off the wall, and it kicks by Smith. And Hermida arrives at second base with a leadoff double as the Marlins try to add to this 3-0 lead.
Boy, nice job by Jeremy Hermida tonight, hitting in the number 8 spot. He singled, he walked, and now he's doubled. And drove that ball hard over the head of Smith, the left fielder, to the opposite field. That shows you the kind of power that Jeremy has. Smith has a little trouble with it, and Hermida gets himself a double.
Josh Johnson up. Probably going to try to lay one down. He had a nice sacrifice back in the 4th. Pops that one into the seats.
I think if the dancers had danced on the night Chris pitched, it would have been too much of a distraction for him.
So you're saying it's not a distraction to Josh Johnson?
No, but they were from his high school.
Oh, okay. Adam Eaton into his second inning in relief. Came in for Jason Hamill.
And Rich, and quietly, Jeremy Hermida is putting together a nice month. He's hitting .314 now in the month of August.
Johnson lays it down. Eaton, did he touch it when it was fair?
No, I think he touched it when it was foul.
That was close. He took a swipe at it just as it was rolling across the baseline. Wow.
It looked like it hit a pebble. It looked like it was going to stay fair. And right there, kicks foul. That's when he touches it.
Big break. Eaton doesn't get the strike, and it's 2-2.
I think the best case scenario here is for Josh to get the bunt down and then get back to the dugout and rest a little bit and see his team score another run.
Three and 2.
This is why I love the National League. You don't have to do this stuff in the American League. You don't have to be a complete player to pitch in the American League.
Gorgeous bunt.
Beautiful.
And JJ takes his time, jogs down to first. Hermida is now 90 feet away. Top of the order coming up, a 3-0 lead. We check in again with Matt Lindstrom.
Hey Fish fans, construction on the new Marlins ballpark is underway, and now is your chance to secure seats for today and in the future with the all-new Marlins Pick 15 plan. Pick any 15 games of your choice and establish your new ballpark seating priority. Call 1-877-MARLINS or visit marlins.com for more details. Marlins baseball is where you want to be.
Thank you, Matt. Here's Chris Coughlin. Takes a strike from Eaton. Marlins have a runner at third. So far tonight, the Marlins have been pretty good about moving runners over, getting them in. Got a single run in the second, single run in the third, another run in the fourth.
Last couple of games, Chris extended his streak later on, once in the 8th inning. Last night, he got a base hit in the 6th inning. Right now, he's not thinking about the streak. He's thinking about getting a run in.
Rockies infield in. And Coughlin going after that breaking ball.
One of the few times we've had him really not look comfortable at the plate. We've seen so many good at-bats out of Chris. That's one of the few times that the veteran Adam Eaton had his number.
It's up to Johnson, who produced a run with his double in the fourth. Coughlin an 0 for 4 night. Well, we've seen him 2-0 really try to spin on a fastball. There's Hermida. Up and in. Hanley's waiting. Three and one. Fish at 61 and 54. They open this series 3 back in the wild card of this very rocky team. Ooh, inside corner. 3 and 2.
Maybe. We got a good one going on in Atlanta. Phillies and the Braves 2-2 in the 5th.
3-2 is outside. Johnson's aboard. Here comes Hanley. Jim Tracy's Rockies have been the best in baseball since June 4th. They have played just a tick under 700 baseball. That is impressive.
Now, sometimes, Rich, the wild card thing gets me confused. We're actually to root for the Mets tonight, aren't we?
Yes. I want the Mets to beat the Giants.
Okay. Just wanted to get that straight.
Hanley takes a strike. Rockies lead the wild card. The Giants a game and a half back. Fisher 3 back. Atlanta's 3.5 back. Cubs won today to draw 4.5 back. 0-2.
Well, Eaton's made some good pitches. He did with Chris Coughlin. He has 2 breaking balls, slider and a nice curveball. And he also has enough on his fastball.
Did he go? Rob Drake says no. A single, a double, and an intentional walk. Hanley's on base percentage continues to climb. He's starting to get up right around Nick Johnson and the league leaders. On a hop picked by Stewart. Gets the out at second. We've played 6. 3-0 Fish. JJ has been brilliant tonight. 18 of his last 19 games, driven in 22 runs in that span, hit .414 in that span. Of course, hit for the cycle while he was doing it. Our Toyota trend, Troy Tulowitzki, leads off in the 7th. Brad Hopp, Garrett Atkins to follow.
Yeah, he's homered in 3 of his last 4 games.
Josh Johnson has struck out 9. He's walked 1. And Tulowitzki goes after the first pitch and fouls it off. A strikeout and a ground out to Hanley for Tulowitzki tonight.
Tulowitzki about 50 points better at Coors Field. A little over 300 there, about 250 on the road.
A changed man in the box. He was crouched over at the start of the season. Little adjustment, more upright, and the hits have started to come in bunches.
Well, he aired out that swing. Didn't hold back.
Johnson's pitch count at 84. 0-2 coming. Still throwing hard. 97 on that fastball. There's his career splits. Coors Field has that effect on just about everybody. Todd Helton has big splits, home and road, in his career. 0-2.
He does, but this year he's the 300 both, home on the road. What's a pretty good pitch. When you get a guy who's thrown this well, and it's off the plate, you'd like to see a call or two.
1-2. High pop-up. Johnson gives chase towards the wall and runs out of room. And it's still 1-2 to Troy Tulowitzki. The cycle came on Monday. The home runs have been coming since early June. 18 of his 23 have come since June 8th. Got him with a breaking ball. 10 strikeouts. Career high.
Boy, that was nasty. We haven't seen a lot of the Rockies hitters go out of the zone, but with 2 strikes, just a great slider, gets a good hitter, and a new career mark for Josh Johnson.
Now Hopp, who has walked and bounced out. Hopp getting the start in right field. He's been a big part of the Rockies' resurgence. One coming. There's a strike, and there may have been a call.
He's actually called that high strike a few times tonight, both sides.
One, two. Popped him up. Hanley calling. 2 down here in the 7th.
Number 47, first baseman, Atkins.
Garrett Atkins. 15,965 here tonight to watch the Marlins and the Rockies open this 3-game series. The Marlins trailing the Rockies by 3 games in the wild card. 2-0. Low.
And
it's 3-0.
And that was pitch number 95, too.
That's a strike. 99. Three and 2.
Backed off a little, 98 on that last one.
Two outs in the 7th. Atkins drills it left field, and deep it is gone, and so is the no-hitter. The Rockies are on the board with a bang. Atkins hits his 8th.
Well, one of the Rockies finally caught up to that good fastball of JJ's. Atkins was hitting just 193 against righties, but smoked that ball, number 8 on the year. And I would imagine the bullpen will get a little busy because he's closing in on 100 pitches. We saw earlier this year Joe Torre kind of ponder with Clayton Kershaw out there, the young lefty. They watched his pitch counts, and he took a no-hitter deep into a game.
You know, it's one thing to do this against a team that is not an offensive team, a team that maybe has traded some guys like the Pirates, who are getting pounded right now, or the Padres. But Josh Johnson is doing it against the Rockies, a team that has been absolutely crushing the ball. One, two.
And he got hurt to Atkins. He fell behind, so Atkins knew he was going to see 2 or 3 fastballs consecutively.
Here's his 2-2. And now he's gone 3 and 2. Ryan Spilborgh's on deck. The pitcher spot due up next. And the Rockies have Matt Daly up in case Spilborgh's does have to hit. Mark Wiley going down to the bullpen. JJ trying to finish this 7th inning. And Stewart, who has struck out twice, won't go away. Got him. Josh Johnson has punched out 11 Colorado Rockies. He loses his no-hitter. A 2-out homer by Garrett Atkins here in the 7th. A standing ovation and a 3-1 lead. tobacco-free. Florida wants you to be tobacco-free. By Metro PCS. Get plans starting at just $30 a month. Metro PCS. Unlimit yourself. Tonight in South Florida, Josh Johnson has been shutting down the Rockies. Had a no-hitter with 2 outs in the 7th. Lost it on a 3-2 fastball that Garrett Atkins hit in the seats. Now the Marlins turn their attention to winning this ball game. Adam Eaton stays in, and he buries that one inside to Cantu. Cantu, Baker, Ugla in the bottom of the 7th. Looks like JJ's going to get the 8th.
Yeah, it does. Nobody's in the bullpen. And I think this is a great inning for the Marlins to try to add on. They've left 9 men on base. And you look at the score, it's just a 2-run game after the Atkins home run.
Freddie and the Fish hoping to draw within 2 games of the Rockies. It would bring them within 2 of the wild card lead. Cantu sprays a ground ball into right field, a base hit. And Jorge leads off the 7th with a single to right. Heineken Light is giving you a chance to upgrade your baseball experience and win premium seats right next to the action in the Fox Sports Florida Heineken Light Upgrade Your Experience sweepstakes. Send a postcard with your name, address, and phone number, date of birth, and your email address to the address on your screen, or go to fsflorida.com. Baker now. Big drove in a run with that sacrifice fly in the 3rd. Single runs in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th for the Fish. That was against starter Jason Hamill. Eaton, a reclamation project for the Rockies, who pitched well in AAA. Coming out of the bullpen, something he's not done much of in the big leagues.
Well, he's giving Jim Tracy what he wanted. The guy to give him a couple of innings. He's working here in his 3rd.
Surprised that he's gone to first a couple of times with Cantu. Jorge has just 2 stolen bases this year.
I would think, Rich, too, seeing those shots at Jim Tracy, that the way the Rockies have been playing, he might be taking that interim tag off his name, because they'll have to make a decision after the season.
He's making that decision for them.
Yeah. Joe Bible, well, we've seen him in all kinds of uniforms.
Yes, we have.
Even some that are no longer around. Expos. Nationals, Dodgers.
Pirates. Twins. Rays.
He's a valuable guy, though. He's a terrific matchup lefty, and he'll be around for a while. Now, I guess if the tats are on the throwing arm, it's different than if they're on the non-throwing arm.
The Justin Miller rule?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know. That's a good question.
It still could be distracting. I was trying to figure out what a couple of those were.
I think we got maybe some ivy creeping down the arm. There's probably a skull involved. Baker, a high pop. Smith, long run. And it's a foul ball. And we check in with Frank Ford. Frank?
Thanks very much, Rich. Of course, Josh Johnson's been absolutely brilliant tonight. I heard a radio host this week say, you know what, we need to know more about Josh Johnson. And this radio host I talked to, it was a friend of mine, I said, well, check out Inside the Marlins, Josh Johnson. That's the one that's in, if I can borrow a radio term, in heavy rotation right now. Sunday, we're going to drop some more Inside the Marlins on you as our new show, Inside the Marlins #7. It's on Jack McKeon. Of course, the manager of the Marlins for the 2003 World Series. Jack now spending 6 decades in baseball, currently serving as a special assistant to Marlins owner Jeffrey Loria. We went up to North Carolina, spent some time at Jack's house, went to a game with him in Greensboro as he checked out the Marlins minor league team. So that's Sunday at 4 o'clock on Fox Sports Florida, Inside the Marlins, Jack McKeon. Rich?
And if you want to preview that show, just click on fsfloridatv.com and click on the link and you'll get a preview of Sunday's show.
A very frustrated John Baker after that last at bat.
Uggla has struck out twice, fly down. Breaking ball, Uggla pulls it, left field and deep. That ball, gone! His name is Dan Uggla. 2-run shot, insurance for JJ.
Every once in a while, he lays in waiting for that breaking ball and guesses for it, looks for it. He got one from Adam Eaton. I don't know if he hit it all that hard, but he hit it enough. And for Uggs, home run number 21, and gives JJ a little more of a cushion. There's the breaking ball. And that time he got it. 5-game hitting streak now for Dan Uggla.
There is Cody. Ross has punched out twice and singled. Cody drives it to center, hits it deep. Gonzalez just shy of the track, makes the catch, and there are 2 outs. Up comes Hermida. Well, a quick peek around the league. And some of the teams that the Marlins need to lose are doing just that. Brendan Donnelly is up. Josh Johnson's spot is due up next. The Giants are losing to the Mets 3-0 in the 8th. JJ pulls in on deck. That one is low.
Rich, that home run for Dan Uggla, number 111 in his career, and as a Marlin, that puts him 6th on the all-time list.
Hermida sends a flare down the left field line, and a nice play, a sliding catch by Ian Stewart. But Dan Uggla goes deep for the 21st time, and the Marlins have a 5-1 lead into the 8th. color. Rocky hold leaders, Matt Daly at 8. Manny Corpus and Randy Flores at 7 each. Just as middle relievers keep their team in the game, you two can stay in the game with Just for Men hair color. Dan Uggla with a 2-run shot, a 5-1 lead. 8th inning rolls around. Josh Johnson still out there. And Ryan Spilborghs takes down low. Spilborghs, outfielder for the Rockies, has kind of lost some playing time with the emergence of Carlos Gonzalez and Dexter Fowler, for that matter. Drives it to right, hits it pretty well. Hermida running catch for the first out of the 8th inning.
Yeah, Dexter Fowler introduced himself to a wall the other day, so he's banged up a little bit, but a terrific young player.
Chris Iannetta now.
Good job by Jeremy Hermida. Moving back, that ball was slicing. The ball was hit pretty well by Spilborghs.
Iannetta has struck out and walked. Josh Johnson, a no-hitter for 6 2/3 innings. Garrett Atkins broke it up with a home run. That the only hit for the Rockies. Told you that the Mets were beating the Giants, the Phillies, and the Braves. 2-2, bottom 7. In Atlanta, Houston is getting waxed by Milwaukee. 9-0. They got in late, and maybe there were a few ghosts waiting for him in the Pfister. Ryan Braun has hit 2.
They've been hot. Last night, the Brewers got 2 home runs from Prince Fielder and 2 from their backup catcher, Mike Rivera. That was against the Padres.
Josh Johnson's pitch count is at 111.
Yeah, he needs a couple of quick outs here to get through this inning. If not, I think we'll see Freddie go to the bullpen. He knows the value of JJ, his remaining starts.
Well, remember what Mark Wiley told us a couple days ago about his young pitching staff. And I think in particular he was talking about Chris Volstad, but I think it is also applicable to Josh Johnson in that some of the young pitchers, he's going to have to back off their workload. Reduce the pitches they throw between starts, maybe shorten their warm-up time. Because you get to the point of a season where, and Josh Johnson really hasn't had this workload since 2006.
Last year at the big league level, 87 1/3 innings.
Half a season in 2007 as well, when he had the arm injury.
And that's it. Freddie just doesn't want to see that pitch count climb anymore. And you know what? He's going to get a nice standing ovation, too, from this crowd.
As he should. Marooney called to the bullpen. Josh Johnson had no hit stuff tonight.
Boy, he sure did. And you could kind of tell that early in the game. He struck out a couple in the first. He struck out 2 in the second. He struck out the side in the third. He established a career high with 11 strikeouts. A good many of them on fastballs, but later in the game on sliders. He got some defensive help from Hanley Ramirez at short. And then when he fell behind Atkins, he had to pour in fastballs. Atkins caught up with one and drilled it for a home run.
But he bounced back after that home run to get his 11th strikeout, striking out Ian Stewart. That finished off the 7th. He gets an out here in the 8th and turns it over to the bullpen now. Reniel Pinto against Omar Quintanilla. Iannetta at first. Pinto in relief. His biggest struggle is that walk to strikeout ratio. High fastball, and it counts 1 and 2. Top of the order, Seth Smith on deck. That's strike 3.
Good fastball, just froze Quintanilla. The hitters know that Pinto has that good changeup. He'll use a slider occasionally to lefties, but he just froze Quintanilla with a fastball.
Now Smith, who was 0 for 3, a night where the Marlins get 7 1/3 from JJ. Brian Sanchez, the guy that the Marlins wanted to stay away from in the bullpen tonight.
Well, again, you can see the difference it makes for a manager with 6 innings last night from Sean West, the 7 1/3 tonight from JJ. It makes it easier to manipulate and match up that bullpen.
A 5-1 lead with 2 outs in the 8th. And it's 2-1. It's a Rockies team that not as much as the Phillies, but you do need some lefties that can get lefties out when you face the Rockies. Of course, you got Todd Helton. Smith takes outside. Carlos Gonzalez is on deck.
Tell you what, the performance tonight, and if the Marlins bullpen does their job, JJ's name should start popping up in Cy Young talk. The 3 guys with 13 wins. A win tonight will give Josh his 12th. He jumped into the top 10 in strikeouts. He's in the top 10 in innings pitched.
His ERA will go down,
and he'll remain in the top 10 in that department.
(3-2). Lost him. Pinto walks Smith. Up comes another lefty bat, Carlos Gonzalez.
And you think about it, if Helton were in the lineup, he'd be up next. He usually hits third, so you get a lot of lefties in a row, as you pointed out, with this Rockies lineup.
The difference that Johnson has on his resume compared to the other win leaders, Johan Santana, 13 wins, Adam Wainwright, 13 wins, Jason Marquis, 13 wins, is that Johnson only has 2 losses. A win would get him to 12 after tonight, if the pen can deliver.
Yeah, Marquis 13-8.
Wainwright 13-7. Santana's 13-8.
But first things first, Mark Wiley wants to see Raniel Pinto get through this inning.
Donnelly's ready. Tulowitzki's on deck.
I honestly think Pinto is more comfortable throwing to right-handers with this changeup that moves away.
Tulowitzki has been red hot, and if Pinto loses Gonzalez, that brings the tying run to the plate.
You want to see Tulowitzki lead the inning off next inning. You don't want to see Donnelly come in this inning to face Tulowitzki with the bases loaded.
Strike 2. Smith. Pinto's 2-2. In on his hands, and the count stays at 2-2.
You know, we've talked about the Tulowitzki factors. JJ just can look on at this point. Nothing he can do. Carlos Gonzalez factor has been there since he's been called up. They've played well when he has started.
Two-two. Oh, gorgeous pitch. Pinto strikes him out. Strands 2 protects the lead. And the Marlins come up in the bottom of the 8th. A brilliant night by JJ and a nice inning by Pinto. Our next telecast is Sunday, and of course every Sunday is a Kids Sunday. 5 o'clock start against the Rockies, and this week we're talking scoring, how to score the game. Jeff Conine will be by, and we will teach you kids, you adults, how to score the game, the nuances of scoring a game. We'll talk to the official scorer. Everybody will have their scorecards out. 5 o'clock start. Marlins Live opens things at 4:30 on Fox Sports Florida. Joe Beimel enters.
Well, the veteran left-hander, you pointed out a number of the teams that he's been with. The Marlins have seen him. And now it looks like Wes Helms is going to see him in a pinch hitting role. Wes pinch hitting for Pinto.
Beimel was a national for 45 games this year. Helms takes a strike. Wes Helms has delivered in the pinch many times this year. As a starter last night, he delivered a big RBI double in the 6th inning. That was the inning where the Marlins broke open a tight game. And he hits the bag and rolls down the line. Helms around first. He'll hold right there. Another pitch hit for Wes Helms.
Well, he came into that bat 2 for 5 against Beimel. He's now 3 for 6. And the Marlins veteran pinch hitters just continue to produce. That went right off the first base bag. Wes with his 13th pinch hit. Ross Glode got his 14th last night. 27 pinch hits between Helms and Glode.
Helms is close to 350 as a pinch hitter this year. Well, Coghlan has a chance to extend his hitting streak, though it's going to be against a tough lefty. He's going to drop down a bunt. Stewart makes the throw in time.
Everything Chris Coghlan does, he does professionally and as if he's been here 10 years. That's just a beautiful bunt. He's going to get Helms to second base.
Going to get a sacrifice out of it.
Perfect execution. Great positioning of the bat. That is textbook right there.
Nick Johnson. These two guys were teammates most of the year in Washington, Johnson and Beimel. Nick Johnson has never faced him in the big leagues.
He's made plays behind him. He's probably walked to the mound and encouraged him, but never faced him.
It's hard to believe, really, because they weren't teammates.
But Beimel's been with so many teams.
Right, and he was with the Dodgers for a good stretch, although Johnson was injured for those 2 seasons. You would think somewhere some manager would bring Beimel in to face Nick Johnson. So that Cubs win, Braves and Phillies tied. The Mets have defeated the Giants. That's good news for both of these teams, for the Marlins and for the Rockies. That's a strike. The Giants were a game and a half behind Colorado, and so with the loss they fall 2 back. The Marlins are 3 back, and if the Marlins can defeat the Rockies, they themselves will be 2 back. That's in. The Giants would move back to a game and a half back if the Rockies lose this one. Still lots of baseball to go. Lots of places to go, teams to see, good teams to play on the road. The Cardinals, the Braves, The Phillies, ball in the dirt. Helms moves up. Counts full 3-2.
Lots of opportunities for fans to come on out and see this team play. And see them battle. And not wait till the final week of September. They'll be gone. They'll be on the road then.
Marlins do not finish this year in New York as they have the past 2 seasons. Fish will finish the year in Philadelphia, of all places. Not an easy 6-game trip to end the year if both those teams are in contention. 3 in Atlanta, 3 in Philly. Johnson rips one to right. And it's caught there by Hawk. That's going to drive in a run. Helms will score. Nick Johnson's second RBI of the night.
Well, the wild pitch set up that situation. Nick absolutely scalded that ball. It almost looked like he was going to get by Hawk. But a team effort. The pinch hit by Wes Helms. The sacrifice bunt by Chris Coghlan. Dandy play by Hop. And then the wild pitch getting Helms over to third base.
So the Marlins tonight have a pinch hit. They have 3 sacrifice bunts, 2 sacrifice flies. They've scored a run on a ground out. Hanley fouls it back. And then they've done it the old-fashioned way, a 2-run homer by Ugla.
A little bit of everything, and then they got an outstanding pitching performance from Josh Johnson. You put that formula together, it's usually going to spit out a win.
So a 6-1 lead, and Hanley, who has now hit in 10 straight, upped his average to .355. That will be another scoring line heading to September. Pablo Sandoval started the night at .329. Second to Hanley, now at .355. Billy's feeling good. Good changeup and a 2-2 count. That struck him out. Changeup at the knees. Hanley says, "Are you sure?" 6-1 Fish. To the ninth we go. Or more on car insurance. by Tobacco-Free Florida. Tobacco-Free Florida wants you to be tobacco-free. And by FP&L. To learn smart ways to conserve energy, log on to FPNL.com. A run on a hit. That's all the Rockies have. That home run by Garrett Atkins broke up the no-hitter for Josh Johnson. And now Brendan Donnelly will try to finish the night and bring the Marlins within 2 games of the wild card lead.
And by doing that, they give Leo Nunez a little birthday present.
That's right.
Down in that bullpen, the guys who stay close together down there, they have quite a bond.
Donnelly jumps right into the teeth of the order. Tulowitzki, Hop, and Atkins. By the way, the Phillies have a 3-2 lead in the 9th in Atlanta.
Wes Elm stays in the game. We've seen Freddie make this move. Wes stays in at third, and Cantu moves over to play first. So Donnelly bats in Nick Johnson's spot.
Josh Johnson struck out Tulowitzki twice. A career high 11 strikeouts for Johnson.
There's a terrific wind kicking up right now, too.
Yeah, we've been told that some nasty weather is nearby. Baker calls time. Tulowitzki steps out. Aaron Cook, the sinker baller, who is 10-4 for the Rockies tomorrow night against Rick Vandenhert. Tulowitzki drills one deep left center. It goes off the Budweiser sign and it kicks over the head of Cody Ross. Tulowitzki's going to get a triple. The Rockies won't go down easy.
Well, Tulowitzki had a triple the other night in that game that he went 5 for 5 and hit for the cycle. Fastball right there, and he just puts a charge into it. Just missed hitting it out. In most ballparks, that ball is a home run. And by the way, Rich, last inning with the Marlins getting that pinch hit of Wes Helms, they've had 11 straight games now of 10 or more hits.
That continues the club record. Here's Hop. That's a strike.
Yeah, at this point now, you don't worry about Tulowitzki over third. You just worry about getting outs.
Nunez and Meyer up. Donnelly runs the count to 1-2. Troy Tulowitzki, a leadoff triple here in the 9th. Marlins trying to finish this thing. Donnelly finishes Hop.
Rockies hitters have struck out 14 times tonight now. 11 by Josh Johnson, 2 by Reniel Pinto, and that one by Brendan Donnelly.
Well, here is Atkins. He spoiled the fun in the 7th. Josh Johnson had a no-hitter going. I guess if you're going to lose a no-hitter, you might as well lose it like that. Smash. Helms knocks it down to first. Cantu can't pick it. Run scores. Safe at first is Atkins.
Yeah, that was pretty chancy by Tulowitzki because that almost was caught in the air. And he took off right away. A little bobble by West, but he picks it up, had plenty of time. Just didn't get a good throw off to Cantu. And still just one out.
Ian Stewart. Remember, Todd Helton is lurking in that dugout. Stewart has 3 of the Rockies' strikeouts.
They have 14. Ties the most by the Rockies in a 9-inning game this year.
His day off may be coming to an end. One and two.
And this is what we were afraid of with those flags blowing the way they were. Pending rain in the area. You wanted a quick inning, and so far it hasn't happened.
Three-two now to Ian Stewart. Out to left, and a dive. It's off of Hanley's glove. The wind really taking that ball. It's going to be a base hit. Thankfully, Coughlin and Hanley didn't collide.
Off the bat, it looked like it was going to be a routine out, but the wind, as you said, caught it. It came back. Hanley had it for a moment, but it just trickled out of his glove. And now with the announced pinch hitter, Dexter Fowler, Freddie's going to go to the bullpen. And it looks like it is going to be Leo Nunez.
And a Marooney called to the pen.
When you need a car, a truck, or van, who you gonna call? Marooney!
is in with one out, and the rain's starting to fall a little harder now. That's a strike to Dexter Fowler, who is in the conversation for Rookie of the Year. Fowler, talented outfielder.
Fowler, a switch hitter.
Oh, 2. The way the rain is slanting, it's coming right into Fowler's face, too. You can see.
But I think the umpires realize just 2 outs and this game is over.
Change up, he was early on it.
Fowler, a guy still learning how to switch hit. He didn't start switch hitting until he was a professional in the minor leagues. Much better hitter from the right side, his natural side.
Top prospect in the Rockies system, according to Baseball America, going into this season. 23 years old, out of Alpharetta, Georgia, Milton High School. So I'll bet you Freddie has seen him in a ball game somewhere in that Atlanta area.
Oh, yeah.
When he was a youngster. Change up, struck him out. Nunez needs another.
When he has the combination of the changeup and the fastball and keeps it down, where he gets hurt, Leo, every once in a while, you'll see both pitches are up in the strike zone.
Todd Helton is on deck. Iannetta has home run power. He's hit 13 this year. Atkins and Stewart. The birthday boy, 26 today, is Nunez. Some lightning flashing outside the stadium. You want to get this one in the books. Mark Wiley, Jim Presley. Presley's hitters, Wiley's pitchers have both had good nights tonight. Drive to right. Back goes Hermida, and it's gone. And the Marlins lead is down to a single run.
Wow. Boy, that ball carried. Had to be affected by this wind that is kicked up. Because Iannetta, as a right-hander, going the other way, and it got out quickly.
Here is Helton, and Nunez has to compose himself and get another out here. Helton, the veteran at 35, in his 13th year in the big leagues. Many times an all-star. He's won 3 Gold Gloves. He, like Seth Smith, was a college quarterback. Helton was at Tennessee.
His first pinch hit at bat this year.
It's a fly ball center field. Cody Ross calls it. Ball game. Marlins win the opener of a very important three-game series as the wind and the rain descend upon Landshark Stadium. The Rockies mount a comeback. Thank goodness